Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Nebraska Shoot Around, where we talk Nebraska men's basketball here on this side of it. Mike Sautter, Jacob Padilla. Huskers get a road win, Jacob. Huskers get a road win.
Finally.
And it was actually good. It was pretty good.
Yeah, good week for the Huskers. So, 3 straight wins. They've done what they needed to do. We talked about just taking care of business. We talked about the Michigan win already. That Penn State took care of business there. Second half.
That was like a...
Yeah, Penn State's not very good. And they just kicked their leading scorer off the team as well. So
and that was like his first game not there.
Yeah.
Even after the game.
I was surprised.
Even after the game, Coach Rhodes was he did not make the trip. He just didn't make the trip. And he paused before he said it. So you knew something was going on.
Yeah. It was 6-point game at halftime, and then Nebraska just killed them in the second half and won by 19.
Blew through that one.
Yep. Juwan Gary, K-State Tominaga, Rink Mass, all in double figures. Just kind of taking care of business. Wasn't a great game by any means, but Nebraska did what they needed to do, and then they hit the road to take on Indiana, who obviously took care of business against them at home. Mm-hmm. Indiana's not been playing well recently. They've had a rough season. So we pointed this one out. All right, this is the one. If they're going to get a road win, this is where it's going to happen. And that's exactly what they did. So they left no doubt. Then they let some doubt creep in.
They left a lot of doubt creep in. It wasn't some. It was a ton of doubt crept in. They were up. Nebraska was up 22 points in the second half, to start the second half.
Yeah,
they were up 20 at half.
Yeah, the K-State absolute heater in the first half. Juwan was rolling. Threes were 9-1 in the first half. They went 9-19 from three. Indiana went 1 for 11. Equal to 20-point lead at halftime. Then they scored first to open the second half.
It was 22.
And then it got a little rough.
Real hairy in the first 9 minutes there. Nebraska went on a major drought.
25-6 run for Indiana to cut it down to 3.
Yeah, not good.
When I went back and watched it, kind of what I saw is the start of that run, they were just missing pretty good shots. Nebraska was still executing. They were getting the shots they wanted, and they just didn't go in.
About that time, I said, okay, they're getting good shots. They could get better shots or great shots. They felt like they were settling a little bit. They were open shots.
Hit 9 threes in the first half, so you're feeling it.
You knew that maybe it was going to come back, and it kind of did a little bit because they weren't moving the ball as well. And some of them were just wide open threes that you're just going to take.
And they just didn't go in.
Yeah, but at the same time, you probably could have got a little better shot.
Oh, and then on the other end, Indiana, their side. So it's interesting.
Indiana,
they're a tough matchup for Nebraska at the 3 through 5 spots. Khalil Ware is
he was awesome.
Really good. He's a tough matchup for Rink Mass, and Nebraska doesn't have
was good too.
Size or athleticism. Malik Renew was really efficient, and then Mackenzie Mbako, he didn't shoot the ball well, but long athlete. Was able to finish over the top a few times. So that's. Indiana started to kind of assert that physicality, that athleticism edge during that stretch, getting some offensive rebounds, getting some drop-off dunks, and really putting the pressure on Nebraska. And then as the kind of run went on, then you started to see Nebraska get a little sped up, some turnovers, some bad decisions, and allowed Indiana to get it all the way down to 3 at 59-56.
Yeah. And with 12 minutes left, basically, just under 12 minutes. And that... was when you were like, uh-oh, if they lose this game, it's going to be real bad.
And then, because we've seen it before.
Right.
We've seen them build the lead on the road and let it slip away.
Continue.
Yeah. It was Rutgers and then Minnesota. Yeah, same thing. And honestly, the Minnesota was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
20-point lead at halftime on the road. They just completely forget how to play.
12, I believe.
Yeah, and there was some. That one was a little different. This one felt like the Minnesota game, just the way it was playing out. And then Jamarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, he was awesome.
So they get it down to 3, and then Nebraska responded with a 14-2 run. Yeah. Started with a Jamarcus Lawrence 3 off a handoff. Then he had a bullet pass in transition to Juwan through traffic. Just catch, fire, no look. It was ridiculous.
When that play happened, that's when I was like, okay, they settled down.
And then Jamarcus found Josiah Alec on a baseline play for a layup and one missed a free throw. But 3 straight plays that Jamarcus made was in kind of in the middle of that run. And then after that, you saw Bryce Williams with a floater, Jamarcus with another 3 running off a screen, and then Casey, who had 18 in the first half.
Yeah,
got his first bucket of the second. Yeah, he hit a little reverse layup there for his first bucket of the half to put them back in control. Put them back up 15 at that point, and then from there it was just kind of running out the clock.
Yeah.
So.
Lawrence was fantastic,
and he is the story of the game for sure.
Yeah, no question. I mean, one turnover, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Didn't miss a 3. 5 for 5 from 3 and had 19 points. That's tremendous.
It
was amazing.
Arguably the best game of his career. 19, 6, and 5. I think career high scoring, right?
He missed 2 shots, definitely career high scoring.
Yep.
Yeah,
and hit all 5 of his threes, and that was big. I mean, Nebraska 14 threes, Indiana hit 4.
Yeah,
and
only 8 turnovers on the road is like, wow, right? I mean, usually on the road you're like 10, 12, right? Like that's probably only 8 and 19 assists. It's pretty good.
On Indiana plus 18 in the paint, plus 14 in second chance points.
You kind of knew Indiana was going to have that.
That's their advantage.
Yeah.
So how do you offset that?
Hit some threes.
Exactly, hitting threes, and that's exactly what they did.
At one point in the second half, when Indiana was making that run, I was like, hey, just foul the dudes at the rim. Don't give them and one opportunities because
they could not throw it in the
free
ocean.
Throw,
yeah,
maybe.
It was 14 of 24 from the line.
That's not
Clea
good.
Ware was 5 of 13.
Yeah,
it was rough.
Not good. That's why I said just foul him. Who cares? Shack him. Yeah, hack a shack him. Who cares? But and another guy, Sam Hoiberg's just, I keep saying it though, but he doesn't score a ton. Maybe he gets a field goal or 2. His impact on the game has been so good the last 5-6 games because he's been the defensive stopper. And if you would have said that at the beginning of the year, you probably wouldn't have. I don't know if a lot of people would have agreed with you.
Well, heading into the year, I don't think anybody knew exactly what his role would look like with some of the roster changes.
But now he's we need a gritty play. Yeah. Go make one, kid, and he does.
And he just complements the other guys so well because of.
And he doesn't need shots to make. I mean, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He doesn't need to make shots. He just needs to go out there and he knows his role and he does it extremely well.
Yep.
Rink Mass had a very quiet game. He got in foul trouble early. Only played 11 minutes in the first half, and only finished with 2 points. But for him to be 1 of 5, only 4 rebounds and 2 points. Now the 3 assists he had, 2 of them were fantastic, but it shows you the balance this team has because he's their most important player.
And with him struggling, Bryce Williams stepping up was huge. And Bryce did not have a good game against Penn State, so to bounce back, Rink played pretty well against Penn State, and then he struggled. So you had
Bryce
kind of stepping
had
up
a couple of
clutch
mid-range shots that were stymied little mini runs.
4-4 inside the arc, the floater, the pull up. He had the alley oop to start the second half. I think it was nice play from Hoiberg.
Block he had in the second half was fantastic.
Yeah, when they were sealing it the last, I think it was on Anthony Leal, just pinned that thing, and then the look he gave him too is I can't believe you just tried that. It's get out of here. So yeah, he was fantastic. Finished with 18, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, a steal in 33 minutes, a couple of threes, hit all 4 of his free throws. So that's we continue to see this team. It could be any number of guys in any given game. You never know who exactly, because Casey, again, just absolute heater in the first half. Pete Casey, the shots he was hitting, step back threes, just kind of continuing to hit some tough shots inside the arc.
But then Indiana put Galloway on him, a little bigger, stronger guy, which it's a little concerning a little bit. But they also kind of use him as a decoy.
And that's exactly it. He opened up for Bryce to get going, for Jamarcus to get going.
Yeah.
And those are the guys. And that's what you need this team to be with the way it's put together is, all right, you don't have enough guys to take away all their best players. So if you're going to devote your resources here, we'll beat you in a different way.
They also kept running that handoff action for him, or trying to get a handoff at the top of the key. That just ran him around a little bit, and that's just him being a decoy. That's all that was. They got it to him and stuff sometimes, but he didn't get any shots in the second half, which is fine. They did it on purpose.
And the thing that I'm impressed with Casey, he's, I think, really improved as a passer. His reads are getting better and better. He's not a 5-6 assists a game type of guy, but he'll give you 2 to 3 assists a game that are all really good reads that are leveraging the defensive attention that he's starting to get. He's running more pick and roll. He's putting the ball on the deck, probing, getting the ball where it needs to go. He's making some hockey assists too, where he doesn't even necessarily get the assist, but he makes a pass that leads to the pass and gets somebody else open.
Yeah.
So I think he's continued to kind of round out his game to where it's not just a score. Like he's starting to become a more complete player, which is big for Nebraska and getting other guys going as well. So finally got it done. 1-7 now on the road in Big Ten play with 2 more to go here. Ohio State and Michigan. Yeah,
Ohio State's plays. We're recording this on Thursday. They play at Minnesota tonight, and then they play at Michigan State on Sunday, and then Nebraska goes to Ohio State next week. Might be a tough low go for Ohio State here.
Yeah, we'll see kind of how they react. Obviously, it scored a massive win first game under
some of that
Diebler,
momentum, though.
You don't know how long that lasts, and kind of as teams adjust to whatever they may be doing differently if they are. So it's hard to project that out. But first, Nebraska got a home game against Minnesota. After the win, they've climbed up to 38th in KenPom. And the key here is defensively. Yeah, they got in the top 50 on defense because a couple weeks back when we were kind of wondering where they're going, they were close. They were around 100th in defensive efficiency. So the fact that the offense or the defense is starting to catch up to the offense, they're 36th on offense, 47th on defense. They're starting to become a more well-rounded team, starting to get better on both ends, and they've climbed to 43 in the net. So they're only 3-7 in quad 1, but they're 4-1 in quad 2 and 12-0 in quads 3 and 4. So no bad losses. And
that's the key. Like everyone keeps going to
with the Purdue
road.
win at the top of your ledger, you avoid the bad losses. Now you take out the can't win on the road aspect of it, where obviously the record's not going to be good, but a 0 is much different than a 1 or a 2 or even a 3 if they
and the way they
win all
did
3.
It too is kind of people that the metrics pay attention to the way you do it, and playing Illinois the overtime on the road helped. It's just you feel really good about where they're at now.
Now they have to handle success.
Yeah, can they play? Can they play their way into not a 10 seed? But do you really want to be an 8 or 9? I don't think so. I think you'd rather be a 7 or a 10
obviously.
than an 8 or 9. Yeah. But I feel good. Depending on how the rest of the season goes, you got to feel good about them at least not being in the play-in games or something like that. Now, all could change, could lose, but as of today, you have to feel pretty good about where they're at.
Yep. And next step to getting to that
Gotta
point
beat Minnesota.
Yes. Minnesota's
playing good.
They're 68th in KenPom right now.
Quad 1.
Yeah, they lost back-to-back, Iowa, Purdue, but they just beat Rutgers. So they struggled away from home as well. They did win at Penn State.
Everybody does.
Yeah, they won at Penn State. They won at Michigan, but outside of that, they're over on the road. So we've got Ohio State at home, like you said, and then on Sunday, Nebraska and Minnesota. And Nebraska owes Minnesota, obviously. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Dawson Garcia got hurt in that first game and wasn't part of the comeback. Yeah. He's a tough matchup for Nebraska, as we've seen in the past, and
was athletic bigs like that,
especially ones that are skilled as well. So, and then Elijah Hawkins, their point guard, has done a really good job of setting guys up. Right. One of the best assist guys in the Big Ten. So they provide some challenges. We'll have to see kind of what did Nebraska learn from the second half? Obviously, it's so long ago now that you don't. I don't even know how much weight you put into it. So
Minnesota's a lot better now than they were in that game.
Yeah, that was kind of the start of them. Like,
they're
okay,
like, we're actually might be good.
Yeah,
and they have played really well. Nebraska's now 5th in the league, tied for 5th, and they're right there on getting that double bye in the Big Ten. I mean, feel pretty good about them not playing in the Big Ten tournament at this point. But if you can get that double bye, they'll certainly help.
Yep, 9-7, tied with Michigan State. So we'll kind of see how both these teams finish down the stretch here, but very much is in the cards and a possibility for Nebraska. But
to finish the top 4,
to do that, they got to go win this game on Sunday, and we'll be back early next week after that one to record. We've got some state basketball that'll be kind of taking up our time later in the week, so we'll be going a little bit earlier in the week here over the next couple of weeks as we head into the kind of stretch run here. But stay tuned to the feed. We will have a new episode next week after Nebraska takes on Minnesota. It's been Nebraska Shooter.